Hey everyone, you're listening to episode number 31 of the Unknown Games podcast. I have just taken a break from Itaewon class because that drama has been eating up all of my life and time for the past couple of days and eating into my Final Fantasy VII remake time. I'm missing the game, but yet I'm so engrossed in this K-drama. But I also turned 31. Happy birthday to me! And we're uploading the 31st episode. Do you see how I planned this from episode number 1? Coincidence? I think not. Or actually, it's a coincidence. Anyways, this episode, Alex and I are going to be talking about the Blue Protocol beta that went on in Japan last week. This anime action MMORPG from Bandai Namco. That's such a mouthful. It's pretty hype, and we're going to shout some glowing impressions on the game, but we hope that it gives you a pretty good picture about what it is. And we went into the game hype, and we left the beta even hyper, more hype. There we go. So we hope that you'll enjoy this show. It is a shorter show, so after this intro, you are going to hear the sponsorship break, and then after that, you'll hear the show. Once again, you always know where you can find us. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at UGP_cast. And then finally, you can also follow us on YouTube. We'll be uploading a little bit of footage as well from the beta. You can follow us at Unknown Games Podcast. I think that's about it, but you can always leave a 5-star review on iTunes or your listening choice. Place of choice. See, I've done this intro so many times that I am now actually out of breath. But what I do want to say is thank you all so much for sticking with us. And we hope that you'll share us with your friends and family, your cats, dogs, relatives, and online friends. Once again, we hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks.
Hey, Jen, never thought about making a podcast?
All the time, except for we are already making a podcast.
No, but I mean a different one. Maybe a better one.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was on the internet. I was trying to figure out what's the best host for a podcast, or pretty much how can I make a podcast. And I think I settled on Anchor.
We're already using Anchor, buddy.
Wait, are you serious? Are we actually?
I'm actually serious because it's free. And of course, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and so many other places.
Wait, how do we do that though?
Anchor did that for us.
Oh, just automatically, right? Anchor will just distribute your podcast for free?
Exactly. Wait, I thought you did the research.
Yeah, well, I kind of did, but I do know that Anchor will help you make money from a podcast. Cash money.
Cash money grabs. Exactly. That's how we're making money right now, I think.
Absolutely. Right at this very moment.
At this very moment with this sponsorship.
Well, also Anchor has some pretty cool creation tools that let you record and also edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer, because I know you got one of those, probably.
I do have a computer, but I don't have a phone.
Well, whatever. You can still make a podcast, because in 2020, there's no reason why anyone shouldn't have a podcast.
Everyone deserves a voice. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Anchor is just everything you need to make a podcast, but just all in one place. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Enjoy the show, everyone. Thanks for listening. Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 31 of the Unknown Games podcast. Yo, it's a great episode we got lined up for you today because me and Alex have been playing that Blue Protocol. The Blue Protocol beta. It's so hard to say it now for me. Anyways, yeah, it's a great episode, like I said, and I need to introduce Alex without saying Alex. Actually, I can introduce Alex myself. Hey, what's up? I'm Alex. Did I get it right?
There you go. Yeah. I quit. I don't need to do this anymore.
No, don't leave me alone. I don't want to be alone on the podcast. It's a scary place.
You talking to yourself for an hour. Some people do that. A lot of people have solo podcasts. I don't know how they can do it. I probably couldn't do it.
I've heard one solo podcast, and they did a pretty good job. I know they had some background music, and they kind of keep it short. It can't go on too long, maybe 30 minutes or so. It's
Yeah,
possible.
I think people that do solo podcasts have like a different set of skills that you have to
Skills.
employ. Yeah, because you have to like stay entertaining when it's literally just you. But anyways,
Yeah, you really do. And staying on topic, which I can't do to save my life, as you all know. And as you all know, thank you for joining. As I said like 5 minutes ago. Okay, it hasn't been 5 minutes. But, anyways, yeah, if you're new to the show, thanks for listening. We're super glad to have you. Like I said, it's going to be a great episode today. And if you're a returning listener, well, you're part of the fam. Welcome to the Cookout again. You can stay
yeah.
in the Cookout. So, yeah.
Sorry, is that a thing? Like I don't.
Well,
The cookout?
the cookout, yeah, man. The cookout is where you go. Is you invite the honorary members of who you respect the most. You know, like your most beloved, or just the cool, the hype people. You know,
This must be like a different culture thing.
it, it could be. It could be.
That sounds exciting though. I like food.
Yeah, we love food here. It's been a
Yeah.
while. You know what? We'll do that at the end. Talk about those McNugget specials because I did get that.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's
And
get into it. What's
yeah,
on the
let's.
plate today?
Yeah, so we both played the Blue Protocol beta, which went on from, I believe, the 23rd or 24th here in Japan, April 20. It was pulled up April 23rd, no 24th,
No, it was
until
Thursday. It was
is it
Thursday,
23rd?
so it was
Okay,
the 23rd. Yep.
okay, and then it's ending actually while we're filming this or recording this podcast on
hmm
the 27th at 9 p.m. And so they had a little issue at the beginning of the beta with the servers, so they decided to
hmm
extend it to tonight, which is great for a lot of people who wanted to play over the weekend and then continue their character because they said, hey, you can level up as much as you want, honestly. But Alex, you want to give like a small, I guess, a rundown of Blue Protocol? I know we've both been following it since they kind of talked. They started showing footage about it. This is an RPG, an MMORPG from Bandai Namco in an anime style, and it looks great.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. So I actually hadn't heard of it until like someone mentioned it to me. They're like, "Hey, are you gonna check Blue Protocol?" And I'm like, "What? What is Blue Protocol?" And then he linked me like a video, and I was, "Well, it looks really good." And then that was a couple months ago, and they opened up applications for closed beta tests, and then I was like, "Sure, like why the hell not? Like, what's the worst that could happen?"
Right.
So I applied, you applied, and we actually, we both got in.
Yep. I
But
wasn't
as you
sure if I
mentioned,
was.
yeah, as you mentioned, it's an MMORPG that is developed and published by Bandai Namco. So to me, that was like not a red flag, but it was just like
It's a strange flag. It's a
yeah, I was
strange
like,
flag.
when has Bandai Namco ever made anything remotely close to an MMO?
And anything online at that. Like most of their
Yeah,
stuff is done
yeah.
by. I mean, it's usually single player RPG. We have God Eater, Code Vein that you were talking about. I mean, there's not any heavy online components to their games, so
Mhm.
it's really okay. Soul Calibur, sure, but even then,
Yeah, and like MMOs are a completely different beast than single player MMOs because it's not like, yeah, you have to write a story for it, but you have to like, there's just certain parts of an MMO that have to be put into consideration and how to like feed the hunger of MMO players, but how like do not make them bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's evolving content. I mean, when we talk about things like Final Fantasy VII and episodic gaming, DLC, I mean, MMOs are continuous DLC, like every month potentially.
Yeah, every
'cause
couple months you
every couple
gotta
months
do
there's
like stuff, and yeah, I mean, so the only MMO that I've ever played, really played, was FF14. I played that for a year and a bit. So I did the main story, and then I ended up doing some end game content. So like
Mhm.
I joined like a raid group, and we would do weekly raids and took care of that kind of stuff.
right,
So
right.
uh, I feel like well, I kind of missed it, to be honest. Like there's a certain appeal to an MMO. There's like a certain draw to an MMO.
There's
Uh,
definitely a culture there.
Yeah, that
It's
I
definitely a
missed. And
culture.
like, I made a lot of friends in 14 that I'm still friends with today, even though I don't play the game anymore. Like we just keep in touch on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a social aspect, and there's just like, uh, like you can log into an MMO and you idle in a town, and then you just kind of like chill out and you chat and stuff.
I mean, it really is a social space. And the last MMO I played really played was City of Heroes back in, gosh, what, 10, 15 years ago? I mean, And I played that to death. I mean, I was on it all night, all day in the summer. And like you said, you really do make those friends that kind of stick with you. And I mean, it's similar to kind of FPS clans, you really do have a community. And when I jumped into Blue Protocol, it all came back to me, and that felt good. Nothing took me out of the world. And the world's beautiful. I mean, it's
Oh my
very
God,
beautiful.
it's so good. Yeah. So the first thing that struck me about the game is that it looks so good. It has an anime aesthetic.
Can
And
we
they
call
really
it an aesthetic? I mean, crap, it's an anime.
it
It
looks
really is.
really good. Um, I've played games before where they're like, it's anime inspired or something like that, but Blue Protocol holds up really well. The art style looks great, and in cutscenes, like
It might as well be an
they
anime.
do so good. Like that's the crazy thing about the cutscenes is that like is it like here's the thing, like is it 2D, is it hand drawn, or is it like Guilty Gear style 3D that's just like really well.
Oh, dude, that's a good question, because I
Yeah, no,
didn't pay enough attention.
No, it has to be 3D because it has your character in it, right? Like the character that you make
Right,
is in
right.
is in the cutscenes, and they can't just hand draw every possible permutation of a character, right? Like all your designs, all your outfits. So
That's true.
it
So
look it's 3D, but it looks so good. It looks like a straight like anime. Like
it
it
looks like an anime. I mean, like
so
I
good.
was streaming the game, and a couple people in the comments when you're saying,
What
don't they
anime
just-
is this?
they're like, "What anime is this?" And then like, "Why don't they just make this an anime?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sure they will. I am sure that this game, because with the beta test, I think there were over, was it 1 million, 10 million applicants worldwide? I mean, it was 10 million seems like a lot number, but there was a lot of people trying to get into this beta, and it was only available for Japan. So if you applied outside, very sorry, you weren't able to actually access it.
Yeah,
but
chances are they might have actually like revoked your key or something because they detected like applications from other countries and then they revoked beta access.
and yeah, it's pretty insane. I hope it does come out abroad, and we can get into that later, because that's something that we definitely can talk about. But continue the lowdown. We start the game pretty much in we kind of find our character waking up, and
Yeah, like literally waking up. It's really cliche. It's like terribly
super cliche.
It's terribly cliche.
I don't know who I am. I can't
yeah.
even speak for it. It's actually kind of interesting because your character does get a voice later on in some other cutscenes. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
speak, bro? You speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that surprised me because like, wait, did I pick a voice? Like I don't like remember.
You do pick a voice, but it's just like from one of 3 pitch tones, and it doesn't seem
Yeah.
like you're ever gonna speak. And
It was
You know-
usually for grunts and stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Because when you make a character in, let's say, God Eater, it's like 20 voices or something, and it's just like variations on really short lines. It's grunts and like it's yelling at your party members for
It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
and there's
those
stuff
kind
like
of
that. It's like I need healing or whatever. But you actually do have a couple like lines and cutscenes, so that's cool.
yeah. And I thought that was interesting. The characters you interact with, the main character Feste, I think her name is Feste. She's
Yeah.
she's
The
pretty funny.
the short
The short-
dragon, the short dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty hyped. So I thought like a lot of the characters that you interact with are pretty cool. And like you said, it has that anime aesthetic. And when you get into the character customization, while it's not as deep right now, I am happy to say that while running around the world, I didn't feel like a lot of people look the same.
Yeah, you can change your hair, like, so you can choose different hair colors, and then you can choose the gradient of those 2 colors,
Mhm.
and then you can choose like the saturation and the what's the word of not like lightness, but like, so it was saturation and just like the kind of tonality of it. Yeah, the brightness, yeah.
Yeah.
So you do have like those kind of fine controls, but have you played like Phantasy Star Online 2 or something like that?
No.
So the character creator in Fantasy Star
Final
Online,
Fantasy.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's like nose shape, nose height, and it's like cheekbone alignment and like cheekbone size.
This straight up
Yeah.
just had 2 or 3 options for your nose, like small indent, bigger indent, and then just like a shadow. Because I mean,
Yeah,
it's that really simple anime style.
Yeah, and then there's also like you can choose between like 3 different chin shapes.
That is true. You get the kind of rounded, pointed, and I guess average. So it's not like
Yeah.
your Black Desert Online or as
No,
Alex
yeah.
was saying, Fantasy Star
Like,
2.
so
Fantasy
I
Star
don't
Online
like.
2.
I think if you wanted to make a character that's like really like custom, you're not gonna get that here.
Mm-mm.
Uh, but
Not at launch. At least not in
well, at least
the
not at
beta.
launch.
Yeah.
But I think what that allows the art team, not allows the art team, but like that kind of ensures a very specific art direction. So all your characters will look like a certain type, like they look like they'll fit in the world. They're guaranteed to look like they fit in the world.
They definitely do. Everyone looked like they should have been there. No one's out of place. And going back to the art style, or we're still talking about the art style. It's a very bright game, very bright, colorful. The world
Yeah,
itself looks like
looks good.
would you say like a concept art? Like that sounds kind of
Again,
weird.
yeah, there's some really really beautiful parts in that game. Like, the first field next to the town you start in
Mhm.
has like a cliff area, like just
Oh,
ocean.
I actually stopped and just looked at the ocean, the sunset and sunrise because it was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
beautiful.
Oh my god, yeah, you just wait for the sun to set or something, and then you
Mhm.
can just like stand there, and it just like it looks really impressive.
And I was surprised because it's really simple. It's nothing complex, and when you look at it, you're like, I'm pretty sure that's just like a PNG file just floating across the sky. But it's a very beautiful PNG file for the clouds. Like we said, it's kind of almost hand painted. It's concept art. Like
Yeah, it looks
just-
really good. Yeah, I
it's
gotta
good.
give it to the art team for pulling off the anime aesthetic. It's pretty impressive.
And going, I guess, to the actual playable classes, we only have 4 classes available right now. I don't know if they're going to add more. I feel like they should.
I mean,
at
they
launch.
probably will.
I don't know.
They probably will eventually. Maybe not at launch.
Mhm.
Maybe we're probably gonna launch with these 4 classes because what's the point of a beta test when they're gonna be like surprise new class without testing that one? You know what I mean?
That's a good point. So the 4 classes that we have are the Aegis Fighter, which is your sword and shield kind of tank character.
hmm
And then we have the Spellcaster, which, contrary to belief, does not do any healing. The Spellcaster is just your kind
It's a
of
DPS,
mage,
yeah.
DPS.
It's like
yeah.
it's like a mage, yeah, black mage kind of.
And after that, we have the Blast Archer, if I remember.
Yes. Yep.
Who is also kind of a DPS spellcaster. I mean, you played the Blast Archer, so you'll know. But they do have one heal spell, kind of an
Yep.
area radius effect.
AOE,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, AOE one. And then the last one is the Twin Striker, which is dual axis, not swords or anything else, just dual
It's
axis.
yeah, dual axis.
Dual axis. So very heavy melee combat class, which is pretty cool. I played him too.
Yeah, so I'm digging the classes, to be honest, and like it is a little surprising that there's no dedicated healer. Like there's just no healing class.
And I mean you can buy tons of potions, and I know for right now the bag, I guess your inventory, you could hold 30 items, and that
Yeah,
does.
so you could hold up to 30 healing potions, I guess, because they don't like stack or anything. Like
they don't stack. It's weird because the converse of that is you can't hold anything else.
yeah, I know. And then if you go out to gather, it's like, well, do I take like support items or do I just leave an empty bag so I can gather stuff? But
So you
all
played
the classes can eventually heal if you have the pink Udibol battle. Imagine, I don't know if you crafted it, but
I did.
You can
Yeah, I
heal.
crafted it.
Yeah. So you can get healing that way.
So let's talk about the classes, and then we'll talk about the Imagine, because Imagine are pretty. I mean, they're a pretty big part of the game. Arguably, like the core part of the game, honestly. So you played the just the
Blast
Blast
Archer.
Archer, or did you do another skill? Not skill.
I switched classes to the Twin Striker because I wanted to check out melee DPS, but then I didn't log on like today, and the beta's ending in like 7 minutes, so I'm not going to be able to play them.
Okay. How did you find the Blast Archer? And for I guess kind of a photo reference in your mind, it does play little like the Archer in Monster Hunter. Did I get that right? Not the longbow. Crap, I forgot what the bow and arrow. There we go. The movement
in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, movement wise, it kind of reminded me of that. Kind of shooting and dashing away, shooting again, dashing, shooting. Even that kind of rock spell where you can rain arrows down from above. Was kind of there, intact, at least for me. Mental image.
I actually never played that class in Monster Hunter, but I had a decent time with Blast Archer. I actually never usually play the type of class. I'm usually like melee DPS.
Okay.
So I think what attracted me to Blast Archer was the buffs and the debuffs. So the Blast Archer is pinned as like a support class.
Mm-hmm.
So you do like some damage, but you focus on like inflicting status effects and buffing party members and also like doing some healing.
Oh,
So
okay.
I kind of like that, not trickery, but I like the status
trickery.
effect part of it. So eventually, like when you level up one of your main attack, essentially, if you hold it down,
Yeah.
you won't fire an arrow. You'll just end up doing like an AOE speed up buff. So if you are like standing next to a bunch of people and you just do that, you'll buff everyone.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Cause like, I think I'm not sure if every class has it. I know I played the spellcaster, or the spellcaster, and I had something similar. Like, so I can use my left click button, my basic attack, and on the third shot, if I choose, I can either debuff the enemy's speed. I can quicken my own actions, or I can I think if you're in my radius, really close, like right next to me, it also applies to you. So you also get quicken skills as well, with an extra like timed key press. I think all the classes have something
Yeah,
like
they must,
a little
to
extra to them.
encourage party play.
And we forgot this is an action MMO. Action.
Yeah, it
This
is.
action,
It
right?
is.
Yeah. You can play
Yeah.
with the gamepad if you want to, but I actually play with controller and not controller. I played with
The keyboard mouse.
keyboard and mouse, and it worked perfectly. It was smooth.
Yeah, I think the layout for the game works well on a keyboard. And like, obviously, if you want to play with a controller, that's totally up to you, and people find it more comfortable. But I just feel like when it comes to an MMO, it's kind of nice to just have a keyboard. Like you have the flexibility of like remapping pretty much like every key on the keyboard. So
Yeah, and if you're on controller, it plays really similar to something like Marvel. Was it Ultimate Avengers? Wait, Ultimate Alliance. I just made up a completely new game. So where you can kind of stock your moves to your face buttons and to your shoulder buttons. There we go, shoulder buttons, and then you stock the 4 different moves to the face buttons. So 8 moves in total. 8 moves? No, 4 moves. 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Anyways,
yeah.
with items. But yeah, it's very comfortable. I also I did play the Twin Striker. I did change it up for a little bit, and it was actually pretty good. It's just click, 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 but I think all the attacks flow, and it was actually a lot of fun. I think what's really good is they give you an incentive to continue your combo. The higher the more consecutive hits you get, the higher the damage actually goes up. So you want to continue your combo string. Even with your basic attack, just keep on wailing. And I thought that was a really fun incentive. I was actually sad when on like the dungeons, and we both did a dungeon together, and we just wrecked people because
Yeah, it was so
they're
easy.
pretty
It was so easy. It's like really easy. Even like soloing the dungeons isn't that hard.
And yeah,
I
they're
don't know if I
easy.
was over leveled or not, because I did the 3 story dungeons that you get to play in the beta, and in the 3rd dungeon, like it's the boss fight is set up with a pretty impressive cutscene. Like you get like a 10-minute long, it feels like a 10-minute long like anime cutscene, right?
Right.
To like set up that boss fight, and then you're like, oh, this guy's pretty serious. I was done that fight in like 20 seconds.
I mean, you by that time you do have your ultimate ability, and like the game did a good job of, I think, guiding you through the basic quest to then level up your Imagine and go to that quest. So by that time you have your ultimate, you have all of your primary moves, the second versions of them as well.
Yeah, probably by that point.
So you can pretty much take out a good amount of stuff inside of the closed beta. And I will have to say the Imagine are what would you call Imagine? Like your
I would like, they're kind of like I don't know, like you can think of them maybe as skills that you can attach to any of your classes. So like you're allowed to change classes in the game, but obviously doing so will reset your progress to whatever you last left it at.
Right.
So if you have like all this, if you like are max level on one of your classes, your main class, and you have all the skills on there, and you jump to a different class, you're back to like level one. You kind of have to build your tree up again. But if you have like a pimp, like super strong Imagine, you can just put that on your your other class.
That's true. They don't have like a
So
limit to like how strong you have to be to wear them or well attach them or whatever. Uh,
yeah,
what was the what increases your what was it? Crap, battle score,
yeah,
class rank. There, your class rank. There we
your
go.
adventure rank.
Yeah, your adventure rank. I can't remember what the medals you have to craft to do that are, but essentially your character I think can equip like up to 5 of them, and you can keep leveling those up.
Yep,
That also affects your
score.
battle score, and battle score is what you need to go on certain quests or missions. So, like if you have a battle score of 7, you can't go on a quest that has a battle score of 8 or above. You know, you have
Right,
to
right, right.
equip better armor, better weapons, which everything in here really is like crafting. I don't think you can
Yeah,
buy a better weapon. It was pretty much
you
just
have to
craft
craft.
something.
You
Yeah.
have to craft it. So there's no crafting class like other MMOs would have, where you would go and be like, "Oh, I need to make this. I have to ask a human who is playing as a blacksmith, to
Mhm.
make something." Um, Everything is crafted by yourself. You don't need to change classes. It's pretty cool. So you just need money, and you need the materials that you find by gathering or by enemy drops.
Yep. So it's almost like
Uh,
little fetch quests. Just go. Well, is that a
yeah,
fetch quest? Just go and kill things in the world and come back and
that's kind of like a fetch quest.
yeah, you should hopefully have it.
If you've played other MMOs, you can think of it. You can think of your battle score as like your item level.
Hmm.
So like you usually have a character level, and then you have an item level. An item level is like the average level of all your gear.
Okay.
So that would be like your battle score. And yeah, it limits what quests you can take. If a quest is too difficult for you, you can't take it, even if you're very high character level.
Right. And if you're coming from like I guess one of those pseudo MMOs, like Destiny, it would be the equivalent of your light level. I don't know what it is in
Yeah,
Division, but
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a 1-to-1 to that. So get better
right, right, right.
gear, craft better things, go on higher level raids, quests, that sort of thing. And the mission types they had in the game were actually pretty. We had like your normal quests that you can get from NPCs. We also have the arena, which I didn't get to do, which I was kind of sad. I couldn't figure out how to do it. My battle level wasn't up for the longest. And then we also have dungeons and what else is there's raids
Yeah, there's the
and
raid
time attack.
missions. Yeah, the raid missions. I did a couple of those because I actually needed to do some of them to grab materials for Imagines.
Oh, nice, nice.
And I didn't do time attacks.
Time attacks are weird. I don't know if they're in any other MMOs, but it
Yeah,
felt
they're
out of
kind of
place to
weird.
me.
Yeah, they're weird.
It
Yeah.
felt really out of place. And I mean, you do get good rewards for doing it, but it's just like you go to clear a mission that I don't know. The only reward is well, you do get some items, of course, but you will be on like their Blue
Leaderboards like on their
Protocols, yeah,
website.
on
Yeah.
their website leaderboards. And I was like, who thought of who? I mean, it'll be cool for if once they put raids or like more complex activities up there. But it was literally like, yeah, go kill like this amount of things. Like, just I was like, what the heck? This doesn't
hmm
entice me. But hey, like I said, once raids or stuff get up there, that would be pretty hype actually.
Yeah, I think like I don't know when the full game is coming out, but I'm pretty curious. Like I'm excited to check it out. I had a good time with what I played, and I think the art style is very impressive.
Yep.
I am curious about the story a little bit. I can tell like I feel like they chose to end the story quest at that specific point because that's just when it starts getting good.
It starts getting good and like the overall story, I guess to just fill people in, essentially like we said, you don't know who you are, your character doesn't, but you do know that there are some other people that you come into contact with who are like they kind of know who you are, but they don't really know, right? They're like, "Are you this person? I think you're this person," and but they kind of like pop in and out, like they pop into your timeline essentially, and you find that out that these people are what do we call them? Time jumpers. Actually, they're chrono. What crap? What was the word?
The chrono leap.
Chrono leap. Yeah, they do chrono leaps. They've come from 1,000 years in the future to kind of do some Terminator level stuff of setting the timeline in order, like kind of get rid of some of
Yeah,
the
they have to like fix their
discrepancy,
timeline.
to
Yeah.
fix their timeline. So they need to get rid of these enemies that you've been coming across, which are, I think, controlled by the Dragon King. Were
Yeah,
they
we'll have to see. We'll
Dude,
have
that
to
Dragon
see.
King was pimp, man. That dude, I want his armor.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
else's. That dude was a
yeah,
bad ass.
yeah,
He can no, he can't come out to the cookout now. That dude, he's too evil. He's too evil.
yeah.
But overall, yeah, I think I walked away from the beta really positive, and I think one thing that sold me was the fact that I wasn't as hype on the spellcaster at first, but the more skills I got, and I finished around level 14. I know a lot of people were like level 30, 40 or whatever.
That's so high. Wow.
Yesterday I
Well,
was like,
to be fair,
yeah.
you actually could grind it out. Like if you do the missions repeatedly, I can see you can kind of grind out your levels.
And some of them were actually, I think if you can get some of the like bigger Imagine, now there are some Imagine that can like support you as well. I forgot what they are, what it's called, but they're almost like little assist basically. Some they all do a buff of some sort. They also, when you equip them, will like buff your stats as well, like
Yep.
passively. So um some people had some bad, like some of like just amazing ones, but to get them you had to do some grinding, and the XP to
Yeah.
do that grinding. I remember one of the quests for even completing it was like you know, the one where you craft the pink, what was it called again, the
The
little,
pink Uribo.
there's two more as a part of that quest.
Yeah, I took that quest actually. I took it, but I couldn't like finish it in time.
That thing, yeah, it's like 110k XP if you finish
I
it.
actually, yeah. So I one of the raid missions for that quest was in that the second area that you get to. I did it. I did a raid mission there.
Yeah.
And that guy was like level 25. So I like jumped in. I was like level 14 or something. Like obviously like way higher than my level. So I just let most of everyone else just kind of hit it for me.
That's what I did too. But it was fun. Even
but,
then, it was fun.
yeah.
Even that they even upped the graphics a little bit. Well, they didn't up the graphics, but they used some more effects that they hadn't used in the earlier parts of the demo.
It looks
Beta.
really good. Yeah. So yeah, the Imagines there's two types of Imagines, right? The battle Imagines, which are the ones that you can use actively. You map them to 1 and 2 on your keyboard.
Mhm.
And they have their own set of cooldowns. And then you have the inner Imagines, which are passive buffs. You can upgrade them, and then that contributes to your adventure rank, which will allow you to increase your own level cap. So like adventure rank level 3 raises your character cap, your class cap to 35.
Okay, to get to level 35 up, yeah, max level. So that's, I mean, that was pretty much the beta. I like I said, I walked away. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm looking forward to the full game. If I can, I think did we say, or did they say if it's going to be free to play or if it's
So there was like a dev kind of live stream where they were taking questions, and then one person was like, as part of his question, he said, "Can you solo the game until the end, and is it for free?" And they said, "Well, we're doing some adjustments. You know, it's still under development right now, but we're thinking you can solo the main story, and for now at least, it will be free to play."
which is pretty cool. And I like we said, that'll give their art team some time to make some awesome aesthetics for our characters to wear. Because I finally got interesting story. I took my guy's shirt off, so I was like shirtless for like most of the game, and finally, I mean, I did look pretty hype, but I finally got a shirt, and I was very proud. I put a shirt on my character.
Yeah, it was
A
that
nice
red one,
shirt.
right?
It was that red one. Yeah, it looked like something out of
I wanted that
Final
one too.
Fantasy.
Actually, I was like looking at that one, and I was like, "Oh, I want this one." It's like 2,000 glory coins there or something. Like,
Yeah, it was 2,000 glory coins. And yeah, it looked like something Roxas would be wearing. There we go.
it was pretty cool. I wanted to get it as well, but I didn't get the amount of glory coins that I needed for it.
It was kind of hard to tell where to get the glory coins, and I tried looking it up in the like the index, and I was like, why does it not have the glory coins listed? I can't find them. Where? But I think I just got it from the raid or something. Some quest gave it to me, and yeah. So it's a good game. We hope that it'll come to the West eventually. Maybe if we're all lucky. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, they might. I'm sure they're probably considering it. Like,
I think-
who knows, right? Because like PSO2 took like 10 years or something to come out in the West. Like, it's still not out. They had a beta test recently, but PSO2 is still not out in English.
Still
officially.
not out, which is crazy. And then we also have was it Dragon Quest X?
Oh yeah, that never came out in English.
That
That never came out in English.
Never came out in English.
And that
just
is
ever.
like that's an MMO from Square Enix, like a very large company who has experience putting out FF11 in English and FF14 in English. So you would think like, they would do Dragon Quest
They
10 in
would.
English, and they never did. They
They never
never
did.
did.
And I mean, I think the only one after that would have been Monster Hunter Frontier, which did come out Xbox only, if I remember.
That came out in English,
Xbox
really?
3. I think it came. Did it come out in English on 360? If it didn't, then even that didn't come out in
I have no idea.
Frontier on PC, and it probably wasn't region locked, so it's still fine to do. But yeah, it's we're gonna hope that it comes out, because this is like we've said in the past. I think this is going to be a really popular title with the success of Ryza and Code Vein. Like, I think people want it. It's a no brainer.
Yeah, I
Sell some money.
mean, the selling feature for sure for me is like the art style, and it helps that the combat is engaging. Because like if it had boring combat, like it doesn't matter what it looks like. I'm not going to play it for the long term, right?
Right.
But it's at least for now, for the time that I spent in it, it's holding up, and I'm hoping that I would be able to, like, when it comes out, I can find a party and we can do some of the challenging fights. Because for me, that's what keeps me hooked.
Yeah.
Because the story eventually ends, right?
Yeah, it's gonna end, and you get to that in game content until the next
and then
big update.
yeah. So the thing that will keep me hooked to come back to log in every night is engaging endgame content. And I like the raids that I did in 14, where they're extremely difficult. Like if one person messes up, you're dead. Like the whole party's dead.
How many people can go on the raids in 14?
So like the hard like actual raid fights, those are 8 people. So it's 2 tanks, 2 healers, and like 4 DPS.
Okay.
And then they have like larger raids. Those are called alliances, which is like I forget the exact number. Right? It's been a while since I played, but it's like 3 groups of many people.
Okay. Okay.
So those are. Hold on, I'll look it up right now because it's been a while since I played. So an alliance is 24 people.
Okay. That's not that yeah, that's about the same as Blue Protocol's raid. I think the raid that I did was like 20 people.
Oh, really? Okay. So yeah, there's 2 different types of raids in 14, like the alliance raids, which are they're not really difficult. Like you'll get through them. But the 8-man raids come in the story variation, and you can do those because you have to do this for the story. They're not gonna make them really hard.
Okay. Okay.
But the end game versions are hard. Those are the ones that, like, if you mess up once, if one dude messes up once, 8 people die.
Jeez. You know what? I've heard other podcasts where people were like talking like you have to play your role. Like you must do what you like. If you don't, you're done. Like
yeah, so
you
can
be shunned.
Like that's why it's really important to find a group that you gel with really well. Because like if you're not careful with the people you play with, it can easily lead to fights. You know what I mean?
It can easily lead to a third party at Apex.
So like if one person messes up and then everyone dies, like the group, everyone has to be like, oh, that was fine, like we'll get through that, like you made a mistake, but if you start blaming people like, oh, we died because of you, and like you get kind of like bad blood, like it's not gonna be
toxic.
fun, right?
It gets super toxic.
Yeah.
I remember going through that in Destiny 1, and like that's actually why I didn't do the raids after a little bit of halfway through the second expansion, because it's just like I don't like that kind of pressure and like being in that situation, because sometimes it can get really toxic. I'm okay with PvP and PvE, but when it comes to like a raid, if it's kind of relaxed, sure, but like, man, people can get on you, and it's like draining. It's draining.
So it's really important to find a group that you guys are working well together. But I like that kind of scene. Like I did it for a year. It was really fun. Cause like there's something like special about like when you finally learn a fight and you do like a 15-minute battle without anyone making a single mistake. Like that is like really cool. Like it's really fun to see that and to experience that.
I gotta agree with you on that one. Like when we finish those fights in the raid, like it is really, really nice to finally be done with it and then have that sense of accomplishment, like you said. And like we said on like a couple of podcasts ago, when it's just something about difficulty in games and just knowing that you leveled up as
Oh,
a
yeah.
person, you know, and
Yeah.
your team leveled up as people, and now you're doing something that you didn't think you could do, and like, you know, it just amplifies that single experience to like a group experience level. So
Yeah,
definitely feel you.
that's the payoff. So I would kind of like to see that in Blue Protocol in endgame content. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, I'm curious to see what endgame raids are going to look like in that game.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be great. And hopefully they'll do another closed beta for, of course, Japan, but also if we're lucky and they do have some inkling of doing it out in the West, then you know, they'll probably make it available then as well. But hopefully we'll get another closed beta. And I'm, like I said, we're both looking forward to it. We'll be covering it. I know on our YouTube channel, I'll be making a video for it as well, which hopefully should go up sometime this week. If you want to check out some of the videos for that I streamed, you can always go to Twitch.com/Ninja Tricks, NinjaTrix. You can look me up there. Alex, do you want to promote any of your stuff of your Blue Protocol natures?
Ah, no, it's fine.
Oh, okay. I gotta. Alex has secret side ninja missions, so you know I send him on
Have
a
you ever
mission every
considered
once in a
that
while.
your name Ninja Tricks sounds like a breakfast cereal?
That's because half of it is a breakfast cereal.
Yeah. Have you
It's
tried
Trix.
have you eaten Tricks before? You must
Yeah,
have, right?
yeah. Well, so like Trix was never my favorite. Like I was
They're not
always
good. They're not good.
I was always like, dude, I was always on Fruit Loops and Fruity Pebbles. I could not get enough of those. And Rice Krispies with sugar. That
What the
is
hell
godlike.
is Rice Krispie with sugar?
Did you ever have like a Rice Krispie cereal?
Yeah, but
So
was there
when
a sugar version?
no. So for some, I have
Oh,
no
you would just
clue.
put it in. Okay.
No, my mom put it in. I don't know
Oh
why
my
she did
God.
it because you know Rice Krispies. I mean, without sugar or anything, they're pretty bland tasting. They just snap,
Yeah.
crackle, and pop.
Yeah,
But when
yeah,
you put that
yeah.
sugar, you get to the bottom of the bowl, you about to get turned up.
No, because I had Rice Krispies a lot as a kid, and
Hmm.
I didn't put friggin' sugar in it. It's a meal, not a dessert.
It's great, man. It's so good. And I guess we should hop on that before we go about those. What do you want to call it? The chicken McNuggets. The
Oh
nugget
yeah,
deal was back. How was it? What,
yeah.
380 yen?
It's like 380 yen for like a pack of 15 McNuggets here in
Oh
Japan,
man, so
and
good.
like they do this like every couple of months. Like I think like every 4 months or something, they bring this deal back.
It's a stupid deal because, like, honestly, I I'm tempted to get 30. I couldn't eat 30. I ate the 15 all at
I
once, and
get
like the
30 every time because I go to McDonald's
what's wrong
and I'm
with you?
like, I want 30 nuggets because you get 30 chicken McNuggets and you pay less than 1,000 yen. Like, that's a
Less
good
than 10
deal,
bucks.
man.
Yeah, less than 10 bucks.
You get like friggin' 30 nuggets and then they're like, hey, you get to choose 4 sauces because you have purchased so much McNuggets.
It's not enough sauce, man. I want 6 sauces. I want 6 at least. They only give me 3 for 15. You better give me like 6. There's
Oh,
America. I would
is it 3? I thought it was 2
only got
for
like
15.
only got 3 for 15. Maybe my McDonald's
Anyways,
just gave it to me. They're like, you came here during quarantine.
here's an extra sauce.
You really want those nuggets? I was like, yeah,
Oh, you
I
know what?
actually
It
do.
is probably 3 because you get 1 sauce for 5. So it's probably 3 sauces.
But it's good.
And
They're stacked in
yeah,
there.
well, like this time they're doing a limited cheese sauce.
That cheese sauce is good.
Oh yeah, so
It's
there's
good.
2 right now. It's the cheese sauce and like the corn potage sauce.
I don't want that. That
Yeah, I'm hard pass on that one. It's hard pass on that one. So I got the
Corn-
cheese sauce.
Oh gosh, it was so good that I wish I didn't get the honey mustard or the barbecue. I was like, I should just got 3 cheeses.
Just all the cheese sauce.
I should
Have you
have got
tried the samurai burger?
No, I didn't get around to getting that. So what was on the samurai burger? What was so special about it?
It's the sauce. I'm looking at it right now on the interwebs.
It
So
better not
it's
be
like
teriyaki. It better not be
no,
teriyaki.
no. It's like what is it? Aburi shoyu.
Like
So
oil. What?
like kind of like roasted soy sauce, like, you know what I mean?
Roasted soy sauce is
Like broiled, kind of like, let's say caramelized almost soy sauce. So it says like
Yeah.
aburi shoyu fu double
is
like double beef burger.
is the patty okay? It's a beef patty, not like one of those sausage patties. I don't like it when they do the sausage patties on burgers.
No,
They
so
just
there's a
don't turn
double
out
beef one, and then there's the bacon tomato one, and I got the double beef patty.
Now, the double beef patty has one of my friends. He actually just stopped going to McDonald's because they took it off the menu. They took his quarter pounder off.
They took that off, yeah. So if you
They
want
took it off. Yeah,
yeah, the McDonald's Japan no longer has a quarter pounder.
that was like what 2, 3. It was a
It was a while. Yeah, it was like
It was a while.
2-3 years ago. Yeah, but hey, but in not like in exchange, but you know, Japan has what is it, the grand. It's called the Grand Burger, like Guran Krabu House toka, and it's like Guran bacon cheese. So it's the Grand Burger.
Oh, I've
They're
never had
fine.
that one. Is the bacon real bacon though? Is the bacon real bacon though?
It's like the pork kind of.
Oh, well,
You know.
it ain't about nothing. And that's something else for a whole another topic.
No, yeah,
obsession with
can
bacon
get,
in Japan.
You can get in pretty in depth when it comes to bacon.
The bacon must be real. If you've ever been in Japan, you know what I'm talking about. You know what we're talking about. Real. Well,
Yeah,
Alex
it is.
doesn't know
It
what
is
I'm talking
difficult
about.
to get legit bacon, as you're familiar with it, probably.
Yeah, the crispy kind, not the Canadian kind. No offense.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So I guess we'll wrap this up. It's been episode number 31. We didn't say anything about episode not 30, but just like we've done this for 30 episodes straight, like 31 if you count this one. Do you have anything you want to say? Like, is there? I mean, it's only 30.
I don't
but,
know. I guess
hey.
like yeah, thanks for listening, especially if you actually are listening to this part here at the end. Like, that's pretty cool. There's like literally an endless amount of podcasts that you can choose to dedicate your time to. So if you enjoyed this, like, be sure to give us a support, leave us some comments. Like, it actually really does help. You can follow us on Twitter and just leave an at. So please at us, and then I guess follow Adrian over on Twitch and stuff, and you know, give us some support over there.
Thanks. Yeah, that's very true. You could be listening to any podcast, but you're still listening to us as part of your podcast listening list, or maybe your solo playlist. Who knows? But it's always, like I said, it's a great honor. I'm super glad and happy that we can do this show and keep the quality up and try to improve in different ways along with the YouTube. And you know, in some ways it's training for me, / you know, it's a fun hobby, but in all seriousness, you know, anything that we make, we try to make it to the best of our abilities, because we know that the people who are listening and watching they know you all deserve the best. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna peace out. We'll see you again next week for episode number 32. And as Alex said, remember, you can follow us on Twitch. No, not Twitch. You can follow us on Twitter or...
Well, you follow Adrian on Twitch, yeah.
You can follow me on Twitch with the ninja tricks. But if you want to follow us on Twitter or Instagram, just UGP_cast. Leave us, like you said, an at on the Twitch. Or the Twitter. Gosh, I can't say Twitter and Twitch together.
The two T's.
The two T's. T. Oh, gosh. No.
That's how you end this episode.
That's how I ended. Like, I've had the cough for like 20 minutes, but what else? I think that's about it. Oh yeah, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or your source. And finally, we love you.
Sure.
You set the tone.
But kind of like the way that my dad would say it.
How does your dad say it?
I love you.
There you go.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah. Anyways, see you guys. Be safe or whatever.
Yep. Be safe. See you next week.
Bye. Peace.